find a way out of Paris now.
This was supposed to be a quick little weekend heist.
Well, I got to say, I'm very excited to chat with you both for this show. I came onto the Leverage fan bandwagon a little late, but I love that I am on it now because every character, every heist is just so much fun to get to watch. Beth, I'd like to start with you because this season, you know, throughout the Redemption, we've seen Aldis's sort of conflicting schedule explained as Hardison being away on a job. But this season, we get a little more of an emotional explanation as to why he's not going to be around as much this season. Obviously, you know, Parker has always processed emotions a little differently. How is that going to affect her mindset going through this season?
Well, thanks for being on the bandwagon first and foremost. Happy to have you. Yeah, you know, it's been an interesting journey for her. I think as the world has changed, the stakes have shifted in a direction that's forcing both of them to do a little exploration on what this means for them personally in their journeys. And with Hardison, you know, I think Parker really understands that his purpose is bigger than what he's doing now. And it's something that he's going to have to decide on, right? So as the world makes it more legal and easier for these people to break the or to corrupt people and, you know, do all the things, it's like he's seeing a bigger picture there where he's like, I don't know if this is enough. And then with her, it's like, well, wait, aren't we always doing this no matter what? Like, this is just what we do. You know, and him making that decision or bringing that up is forcing her to see like, well, how does this change also affect me? And what do I want out of this? So it's a moment of growth, I think, for the relationship, for the team, for Parker as a leader, and deciding, you know, she also does have this great skill set that you see come into play this season of kind of laying the foundation for others to, I don't want to say set a trap, but like there's an episode where she's setting something up. So someone has to go through and figure out which consequences are worth it and, you know, to help them have some self-growth. So she's getting this perspective, I think, on leadership, teamwork, growth through the changing relationship with Hardison as well.
Well, I love that evolution that she's undergoing. I mean, I was just talking about that with Christian and Gina. I love that it's never a change. It's always an evolution because we still get to see the same wacky Parker as much as we get to see the evolving one. And Aleyse, I'd like to turn to you next because I loved that coming into this season, we saw Breanna was considering taking college courses. And even though there's still mentions of it, you know, she's still very much in the game. I'd love to hear what you can share about, you know, how that arc is going to evolve this season and how that's affecting, again, her mindset going into these jobs.
Yeah, I think, you know, seasons 1 and 2, Breanna had a lot to prove. And now it's season 3. She's looking at this as a lifestyle and wondering if like the frustration that she feels against, you know, these kind of insidious systems at play is something that she can, you know, commit herself to do it over and over, tackling over and over again. And so you see her kind of like grapple with this grown up idea, which is like, let's make a career out of this, not just, you know, a one-off for trying to keep up with your brother. And that shows, you know, a maturity. She's been mentored by Parker and Sophie quite a bit. She's going out on cons a lot better, and they're willing to throw her like the Christmas Carol job and stuff like that. Like, she's able to really take up the reins now, and I think she's just grappling with her cynicism, you know, being a Gen Z millennial around, you know, the world and what she's going to do about it.
I loved the Christmas Carol episode, by the way, just since you mentioned it. It was such a blast watching Breanna take the reins. I did actually want to expound on a bit you mentioned, though, in the Gen Z millennial bit, because I also love that this show has offered you the chance to let your queer flag fly. And as a bi fan here, it warmed my heart getting to see her explore that these past couple seasons. Will you get to explore that a little more going into this season and maybe whether it's on the job or off the job?
Yeah, I think it's going to come about in a new way this season, where, you know, for a lot of us, I mean, I'm an openly out gay woman, because it's part of our identity, but it ain't the most interesting thing to talk about after a while. And that's important to have a character that represents that. And one of our jobs coming up, the Tinder swindler job, is going to, you know, show how this is a culture. This is only an asset to you as a person. And whereas I feel like season 1 and season 2, it was about, our love being so different and accepted and this, that. She's like, I'm accepted. I get it now. Let's make it work. So I love being able to hit that side of the representation as well.
Yes, the normalization is always such a great thing when it's layered into a show. So I love that, and I can't wait to see that episode. I'm 4 episodes in so far on season 3, so I've definitely got some watching to go. Now, Beth, I'd like to turn back to you because previous seasons we've really explored, meaning previous seasons of Redemption, I should say, have really explored more of Elliot and Sophie's pasts and given them sort of, as the title promises, sort of an angle on redemption. We obviously know Parker's backstory in a sense with Archie and growing up with him, but I'm curious, have you had any talks with John or Chris about further exploring what Parker's past might look like in this show?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, with the reboot, there was a lot of organizing of, okay, what is this version of the show and where are we starting for people who've never seen it before? Where are we going to go for those guys? And where do we take these characters that are so beloved by the people who've been there since the beginning, right? So I think with Parker, I have had those conversations, and there's a really great episode at the end of this season. I don't think you've seen it yet. Because it's gonna answer some of this for you. There's a really great moment for Parker. It's actually an entire episode, but where she is at the intersection of, why am I doing this? And what's the ethical way? Why am I doing that? Or why don't I just go all the way? Why am I restraining this instinct I have, to be really dangerous? And it's a great moment. Parker fans are going to love it. And you'll see what she ends up doing with that. But it was important to me in general not to lose her essence, who she is. The adrenaline junkie and the quirk and the fun is there and amazing, but also like letting her evolve from the place she started. It's someone who was very damaged and grew up without anyone to trust or love or feel safe with. And so now that she's got this, it's kind of like she doesn't overthink it. She doesn't place parameters. She just knows what she's supposed to do and just does it and doesn't second guess it. Right. So the interesting thing about her backstory and, more, I would love to explore more of it and get in there. But when you're balancing all the arcs and everything, I think it's like a balancing act, right? But you're going to get to see some cool stuff that really brings out some of that backstory. It's like, I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah.
I was already going to stick through the rest of the season, but that's definitely a great tease for me to jump right back into it as soon as possible.
Yay. Okay, good.
But hopefully you all get more seasons so that way we can further build on that. And Aleyse, I'd like to turn to you because going off of a similar note in that, we've seen Breanna mention why she turned to the team in season 1 wasn't just for crashing Twitter. There's a lot more going on with her. I'm curious though, what's a layer of Breanna you would like to unlock going into future seasons?
I'd really love to, a lot of people say this on Hardison's tip as well. I'd love to see just, like you said, like what has brought her all the way to, we mentioned in the maple syrup and, the Canada, of it all. And I'd love to see a little bit of, the childhood. I'd love to, get a Nana episode in there and kind of cover that for the both of us. I know Nana's like a beloved topic, especially as Hardison is concerned, and I think it would be a cool thing to explore.
I would love to get a Nana episode for the both of you, but especially for Breanna.
I actually asked them for one too this year. I was like, "Can we get Nana? We got a Nana episode."
Well, we finally got Elliot's dad last season, so here's hoping that we get Nana next season because we need to make it happen. We're putting it out there, and I see I've got to wrap up, so I will get on out of here. But thank you both so much for taking the time. Truly an honor to get to chat with you both, and I look forward to keeping the word alive about this show.
Stop with the handshake, man. Then go.